What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. This is going to be an extended commentary on Sarah Spain. I did a video about Deshaun Watson and her comments about Deshaun Watson. She went on an entire Twitter rant. And I spoke in a video about how she wrote this ridiculous article about Kobe Bryant, who hadn't been deceased for a month yet. Before she wrote that article, they were still trying to clear the scene of him and his daughter's demise. They didn't even know the cause of anyone's death in that situation. We knew about the plane crash, but no one else knew anything else. So Sarah runs to write this article to demonize Kobe Bryant, because that's what these Caucasian liberals do. They love to attack a black man's legacy. Kobe Bryant had that incident in 2003. Then he went on to not only have a successful career, but build a family of his own. A family full of young females that he was raising. Kobe is not a troublemaker, especially off the court. Now, on the court, he can get into it, but off the court, he was a model citizen, a well-respected man in culture, whether she likes it or not. But females like her, because it wasn't just Sarah. I'm pointing her out because she decided to go after Deshaun Watson, so I got to bring my own receipts. And speaking of receipts, you got these websites that are putting a cape on for her, like Awful Announcing, talking about Sarah Spain brought receipts in her battle against whataboutism, because people were holding her feet to the fire about her, going at Deshaun Watson. She went at Kobe Bryant, but they have no smoke for the Chad Willers of the world or anyone else in Hollywood, because you had all these Hollywood actresses speaking out against Kobe Bryant. I did a video a while back about this female TV host who looks like a feminist attacking Kobe. And they never attack the weirdos in Hollywood who have done disgusting things. What about your president, Joe Biden, who, by the way, is still doing weird things? He's over there in Europe right now, eating pizza and trying to holler at the young female soldiers, but nobody's going to say anything about that, right? Nobody's going to say anything about that. You have a weirdo at president who's incoherent, who's been accused by multiple women, but y'all don't bring that out. Y'all don't write hit pieces on that. You talk about Ray Rice, and speaking of whataboutism, Ray Rice's career ended in 2014, right? Because I remember my first ever video I recorded was about Ray Rice. Ray Rice has been out of the league ever since then, right? Ever since that situation with him and his wife, 2014. Do you know they still talk about Ray Rice? They still talk about Ray Rice to this day. So when you want to mention whataboutism, let's talk about the fact that people are still talking about Ray Rice to this day. When that incident happened in 2014? Between him and his wife, who are still together, by the way. They're still together. People thought that, well, he's not in the league anymore. She would leave him. She ain't left him. She's still with him. They still talk about Ray Rice. You got these people on Twitter who still mention Ray Rice. So she wants to talk about whataboutism, right? She wants to get mad at people mentioning Chad Wheeler and talk about how he's irrelevant. Well, Ray Rice is irrelevant, but y'all still talk about him. Zach Stacy. Y'all talk about Zach Stacy. Zach Stacy is irrelevant. He ain't been in the league in a couple years? And by the way, what Chad Wheeler did to his girlfriend was a whole lot worse than what Zach Stacy did. Zach Stacy, he did pummel his girlfriend. He threw her around, and that's bad. But Chad Wheeler thought he had ended his girlfriend's life. And he went and ate. That's cold. But y'all don't say nothing. Y'all don't write not one article. because you want to pick and choose who your villains are. And then when people confront you about it, you want to get mad. Let's look at some of these responses. This was back in 2020. This person here says, I remember in college at some party where you were yelling, anyone who's not effing someone who lives here, get the F out. Kind of funny to watch you pose as an arbiter of morality now. Now you still got some people who are defending her, which is fine. It's an unfollow. I know a little about journalism, about the time factors involving in writing and submitting an article. Kobe was confirmed dead less than 72 hours prior to this article going print, which means you started crafting it before the bodies were collected from the wreckage. Do you believe people can ever transcend their faults and wrongdoings? Is there a level of atonement that would ever redeem him? He seems, at least outwardly, to have turned a corner. I understand the harm he has done, but is everyone doomed to be forever judged by their mistakes? Well, they are not looking to atone Kobe, because Kobe is everything that they'd hate. Kobe was a patriarchal father. He was a respected basketball player and businessman, and they don't like that. Kobe was not political. Kobe's not LeBron James as far as politically being out there pushing the social justice narrative. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now, if LeBron didn't push that liberal narrative, they would be finding some way to Me Too him too. Because this is what they do. I mean, look how many numerous times LeBron James has been caught up allegedly dealing with other women. Look at what's going on with Deshaun Watson. There is a very good chance that Deshaun Watson doesn't have to pay a dime in those civil suits, because he's had not one but 2 criminal cases be thrown out of court. So it's very difficult to get any money out of somebody if you can't criminally prosecute them for what you claim they did. So Kobe, once again, he is a patriarchal father, businessman. He's a black man. He represents everything that they hate. He came from a 2-parent household, a mother and a father, even though his relationship with his parents was kind of strained at times, but he still came from a 2-parent household. He speaks multiple languages. Oh, they hate that. So Kobe, again, hadn't been deceased but a couple days, confirmed to be, and she's writing this article. Could not wait to write this article. Let's see. I have no idea whether the allegation is true. Neither do you or all others that gather in the court of public opinion. Kobe and that young lady only know. What do I know is that it was an allegation, and that due process was voluntarily stopped by both parties. Kobe's fans know something happened in 2003. Just because someone is done discussing a subject doesn't mean they're dismissing it. We don't need to know how this woman feels about the situation right now. If she needs help, I hope she can get it like everyone else. Show me anyone who's perfect, including you. The timing of this is so wrong. Let the family and his fans remember the good times, because they totally outweigh the bad. Your victim had relations with 2 other men after Kobe, and before going to the police in the morning. She was well known around Denver sports teams. The alleged victim was far from stable. 2 attempts on her own life. Prior to meeting Kobe, gray areas on both sides of that story. She dropped the charges, took $2 to $3 million in a civil suit, and maybe that money was her plan all along. Entirely too soon. Folks will feel the way they want to feel, but I don't remember others getting the smoke that he's getting. Woody Allen, David Bowie, etc. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your tweet, man. The white feminists don't have any love of our viewpoint. They don't. It's because they don't respect our viewpoint. to us, they just use our blackness to attack other Caucasian people they don't like. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no one knows the details of what happened beside the two, and that the truth is probably going to be somewhere in the middle. Was he wrong for stepping out on his wife? Absolutely. He was never convicted of this crime. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know. Now do the president read it all? I read it all. She had friends say she was scheming. The truth normally lies somewhere in the middle. I was real disappointed in Kobe's decision making. I was a Kobe guy before being a Kobe guy was popular. I'm so mad. I read some of this. Then you got another white liberal feminist saying, proud to know you and work with you, Sarah Spain. He wasn't a hero to clickbait psychopath writers like you two. He was 100% a hero to Gigi, everyone else that can be honest about his life. I just wanted y'all to see some of these responses because this to me is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that she couldn't even wait. She was so giddy probably to write this article to tarnish this man's name. And I don't care what anybody says, man. Women like this don't respect black men who are successful, who build their own paths. Yeah, we make mistakes, but there are plenty of men who look like you, Sarah. You don't call them out. They're still talking about Ray Rice. Ray Rice hasn't been in the league since what, 2014-ish? And they still bring that man's name up. They still bring him up. Zach Stacy, they keep trying to keep his name out there. Is he relevant? Are we talking about whataboutism? Y'all, I haven't seen one updated article about Chad Wheeler. Y'all not even keeping up tabs on the guy. Because when it's the men of your community, Sarah, it ain't a big deal. But when it's a black man, you couldn't wait till Kobe had been deceased for 72 hours before you're writing an article. Probably even before then. You found out the news and immediately tried to write a stupid article. Because people like you only respect people that look like you. And when you see black men who are successful, respected, he's a problem. That's why they hate black male conservatives, because black male conservatives are not puppets. They're not going to be, used to push agendas that don't fit them and don't fit their community. And people like Sarah Spain are the type of people who need to be held accountable, her and her white liberal feminist buddies, who are out here trying to destroy people's legacies, trying to destroy people's names. Kobe Bryant had daughters. He lost his life along with one of his daughters. Tell his daughters that he wasn't a hero. Tell his daughters that one mistake paints your entire life bad. Because there's plenty of women. I'm pretty sure, Sarah, you have made a ton of mistakes. And you wouldn't want to be held accountable. You wouldn't want to be that held against you. But you want to hold what happened in 2003 against Kobe. We none of us know the truth. None of us. There's only two people that know the truth. And you ain't that person. You ain't one of those people. So let me say in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.